it's a very warm evening, but we're out here anyway, and some mosquitoes are out. But here we are in Garden 3X Extension, and we have two beans here. These are the jade green beans, and those are really nice long beans, and they're good for making dilly beans. And they're doing all right. We could use some rain. And here's the jade, and this is fava beans, and we've never grown them before. They're pretty interesting. It's those big beans that you see in jars in the Italian delis. But I'm noticing today we have some, so I'm just noticing these fava beans look strange. This is new. These leaves have been attacked by something. So there are very dark, dry spots and then yellow, and it doesn't look very good. Here's one that's interesting, and it has sprouted some very Johnny Jump-Up looking blossoms on it. So this is new. We're going to learn something about fava beans and what they look like eventually. I hope we can protect them. We could throw some remay over the top of them, but I don't see any particular worms of any kind. It's just intense heat is what it looks like to me. So now we're looking at the row for the jaune du daube, the cooking French carrot, which is tasty in soups. And we're just starting to see some germination, not very much, not as good as last year, but look at the cracks in the soil. You'd have to be watering out here every day. And it's been really very hot is all I can say. Okay. Now we're in cucurbit land. And I did hold fast to my pledge to only have 2 hills per species. So this is the pepos, the delicatas. And boy, these are stars. It's called honeyboat. And these plants are beautiful. They did not get attacked by anything that I could see. I see the signs of diatomaceous earth here, so at some point, 1 or 2 weeks ago, I did spot some of those nasty little beetles. But these have prevailed. And then the next over is the moschata, and that's the Waltham butternut. Well, these two are both Waltham butternuts. But you can see they look very different. This one is thriving, very big leaves, and they've had a taste of diatomaceous earth, I see, but successfully, and they're starting to ramble along and set out tendrils. These two do not look happy at all, and I don't know what that problem is. So I guess we'll be watching them. This doesn't look too good. And then this is the Anna Schwartz Hubbard squash. Those great big ones. You get a lot for your money with these. And I have not grown this before, so I was excited to give these a try. And these are of the Maxima family. This one looks like this was attacked pretty badly on this leaf. I don't see any little hopping beetles anywhere. And this one, well, I guess pretty much the same, except this back plant has less damage. But I think they will survive, and I'll keep an eye on them. Now this is the French heirloom Charentais. It's supposed to be a lovely sweet melon. It looked beautiful in the catalog. And I had some really nice looking 3 nice stalwart looking seedlings, but once I got them in this hill, the cucumber beetles seem to have attacked. This is struggling. I think I see a brand new leaf here, so I haven't given up, but what I did do, I started some more inside, and they are growing pretty well. They might not make it to full maturity, but I don't care. I just want to see how they grow, and maybe we'll do better next year. And I'll keep an eye. I'll cover them with remay. I'll make sure they're watered well. Well, I had a hill here ready for work, and I decided to try this called a green apple cucumber. And it looked very pretty. It's small and supposedly very juicy. And I gave that a try. And again, the cucumber beetles did get to this. And so I tried the diatomaceous earth, and I come out every morning and pick off the beetles. I found one this morning, but I see new leaves, and I'm hoping that this will struggle past the lifespan of the cucumber beetle. Here's hill number 3, and I tried another melon. A friend of mine from Abraham's Creamery, Leslie, gave me some seeds that she called melon from Dan's garden. That's all I know about it, but they seem to be pretty feisty despite the beetles, and I think they'll make it. We have 2 rows here that are hosting celery, tall Utah, up here, and celeriac with the darker green leaves. We're not sure why. We suspect it's because that's where the chickens were parked in the spring, fertilizing the ground. And so here's a repeat because I had so many seedlings. And you can see where I started about 2 weeks ago with a very sharp knife going around and just harvesting the outer stalks. And keep an eye on that, because if you neglect them, you might try to harvest and they look great from the outside. You open it up and it's all has brown worms in it. So I am keeping an eye, and so far I've only found 2 stalks with trouble. Okay.
Yep.
All right. This is parsley. I wanted to have a lot of parsley this summer, and so I picked a flat leaf called Gigante d'Italia. Those are in the little greenhouse. And here is Krausa, which is a curly, tight little parsley. So they're here, there, and everywhere, and they're happy wherever I put them. They're doing well. This was an overflow of seedlings for collard greens. And this is interesting because I see 2 different colors. Some have that dark blue green that I really like. And then you have some medium green, and then you have some that are quite yellow. And I haven't figured that out yet. It's the same territory. But there you have it. Some of it's been, henpecked. Not really, but bug pecked. Lots of new growth with this Swiss chard. I gave it quite a haircut about 3 days ago and brought in 2 huge totes full of Swiss chard, which we have every morning for breakfast with fried onions and sometimes garlic, and it goes along with our eggs and bacon. And I think it's going to survive. I'll have to water it really well tomorrow, but I see all the new growth, so we'll report on that. I'm going to see if we have any eggs today. We're slowing down. We used to get, 7, 8, 9? Today we have 5. Well, these are the clary sweet peppers. We grew them 3 or 4 years ago, and they were just delightful. These little flat kind of round peppers that are orange, and you can just pick them and eat them, and they're very, very sweet. Okay, our broccoli is on the farewell tour. The big heads were harvested and made into soup, and now they're putting forth these little florets, and you have to grab them before, they're not going to get bigger than that. They'll get yellow, and then they're not good for much. So I'll be harvesting the rest of those, maybe pulling them out. And here we have kale, which the red Russian kale, it does not give up. And I keep picking it, and it just keeps coming back, and here it is all along this row. As well as 2 parsleys that I threw in here. Here's one and here's another. They're the curly ones. And that's it for this.
Okay.
Well, this is what is left of a dismantled compost pile. And Stephanie took it all apart and then started running a rototiller to break it up. And it looks like it's a nice stuff for compost. Well, these are the San Marzano plum tomatoes. And we'll talk again later as they start to turn a bit of orange. You look in the little elbows there, and you see these little things that they call them suckers, And I have been pulling these things out and snipping them out almost daily. And they just keep producing. So they must be quite pleased with where they are. And by August, these things are going to be up to the ceiling, as happened last year. This is the splendid row of broccoli, which produced big, big heads. And we harvested all those, as I said, and now we're getting the smaller ones. These are still producing. They get smaller and smaller until they say, enough, please pull me out. And there we go, a few more. Oh, here's some more generous ones. We have enough to make another soup. Or to just, I like to snip them just like that and put them in a salad and eat them raw. So, here's the farewell to bok choy. And these stalks are still pretty juicy and some good leaves. And these I've snipped. They've gone to seed many times. And so this will be the last day. I pulled one this morning and gave it to the hens. This one will go to the hens tomorrow. And now, this is the marvelous lettuce, arugula, and spinach row that Stephanie planted last March. And we picked a bunch of spinach, and when that went, I did a succession planting. They started off really well until the heat wave. That did them in. The arugula kept valiantly trying. I kept snipping little leaves and had salads. And then the other, I don't know what kind of lettuce that was. It was kind of pale, but it was fine. And it was just this week, that was the end of it. So I pulled everything out, but that's going away. March until July, the end of July, we had this going. So now this row has been pretty well cleaned out. I'm giving the, little broccoli one last floret. I can't give up. But we'll dig this up, work in some wonderful mulch or compost, as you just saw out there. And we're getting this ready for the fall lettuces, arugula, lettuce, and spinach. This is the little greenhouse. And this is a stalwart producer and hard worker. Here are the Japanese climbing Shinto-kiwa cucumbers. Once they really get going, we will get, 7 to 10 every day that we better pick, otherwise they'll quit and decide we're not interested. Now the reason I have these covered, you heard me say these are cucumbers after all, and we have been plagued, and many of our friends locally have also been plagued with the cucumber beetle this year, worse than any year before. Because usually they're done in 3 weeks. I picked one off this morning. Here we have Kalima green beans, and these took a while. They were a little slow, and I got a late start this year. But once they got going and started producing flowers and I started picking, I have to be out here every day snipping. Otherwise, two things can happen. The plant will decide I'm not interested, maybe we'll quit because nobody's picking these and refreshing. So, and the other thing is that if you wait too long, I'll see if I can find one. There are one or two here that when I finally spotted them, you see how big these leaves are. These things are hard to find. They're hiding. Look at this thing. Now these already are bulbous. They have seeds in them. So I'm going to put a little white string on it as a warning, don't harvest these. We've had a favorite lettuce. It's called Merveille des Quatre Saisons, the marvel of 4 seasons. So supposedly this lettuce from France, an heirloom, is supposed to be able to be prolific through all kinds of seasons. And I started them off. They weren't doing well. They must have been 3 weeks. I didn't even see any signs of life. And all of a sudden I got 1 or 2. And when I watered them, they lay down flat in the dirt. So I picked them and I came in yesterday and I'd watered the night before. And they look like they're supposed to look now. They're all perky, nice big leaves. So one can either pick and let them keep producing or pull a whole plant if it ever gets to be like a little head of lettuce. The weather has really been unusually hot, too hot for lettuce. It's, it's really killing it. But the parsley is dauntless and peppers love hot weather. So we have these really cute and adorable little baby peppers sprouting on these 4 plants. And let me see, what is this one called? This is called apple sweet pepper. That's from Fedco. It's a new one for me. Okay. Well, you can see I have 2 signs here. One says turmeric, one says ginger. And I saw somebody on YouTube taking some of these rhizomes and burying them, and they said, don't bury them too deeply, and maybe an inch. So I did that. No sign of the turmeric, but something's happening here. I don't dare dig in to see what it is, but I'm hoping that it's the ginger root that is setting up a shoot. Parsley bed, but I decided parsley does very well in the shade of other plants such as cucumbers. So because I was a little worried that these would not make it behind me, I started more. And I think I have 2 more in addition. These 2 I put in today, and I'm really watching them like a hawk for those darn beetles. So what I did, you can see it's still wet. I watered them, and I'm covering them with Remay. Tomorrow morning I'll check them. Well, this morning the beets were doing really well yesterday, and I thought, ooh, tomorrow we can pick some beet greens. And I understand you can pick up to 1/3 of the leaves and not harm the plant. But look what happened when I got here. Somebody else got here ahead of me, and it wasn't Stephanie. It had to be mice. So this happened last year, and I did spray twice along there for mice, but not since the beets went in. So now I've covered them with Remay, and tomorrow I will spray with a safe, a non-toxic rodent deterrent, which I think it's because it has a lot of peppermint in it, and rodents detest peppermint. The rodents did not make it this far down. Maybe we came along and made noise and scared them away, but tomorrow I am going to pick some of these beet greens. In the meantime, I'll try to keep them covered. So those were the cylindra, the little cylinder red beets. These are called Detroit Golden. So these are the golden beets. And I was just a train this morning. I was just dying to get all of this done so there would be no more damage. So I got some hay that Stephanie furnished me with, and I covered, because Stephanie did the job of weeding all of these yesterday, so I thought, we can't let the weeds get away with this again. And so, well, that covers all the things that I have not told you about. And there are things that I'll have to check tomorrow morning, like the melons over there. I hope they're still alive. And so that will do it. And it's still a lovely evening. Look at that. Wow. That's it for this evening's tour, and we will see you tomorrow.
They're turning dark stars, some over there too.
Yeah, but we know. We went to school. Last year they were dark for 2 months. Yeah. Before